Hi and welcome to this quick briefing of Centrify Server Suite 2016 and Step-up Authentication. Called by Centrify, MFA for servers, Centrify now merges two products, Centrify Identity Service and Centrify Server Suite, to deliver multi-factor in a way that is operationally efficient and tied to roles and rights, the right way to do it. Before I go into architecture, let's do a quick demo. The phone on the right is the phone of an Active Directory user that is a Unix and Linux administrator that needs access to systems. Um, uh, the um, the security team has set up a role called web admin, and in Active Directory has set up a flag requiring the user to have multi-factor authentication at logging in. Centrify today delivers multiple factors for step up. One is true MFA. When you have your mobile device, you can have a phone factor, a phone call delivered to you, an SMS, an email, or a security question. All those factors or those step up modes can be enabled or disabled by the administrator. This can be done, like I said, at the role level, or it can be done at the command level. In its initial release, it's going to be available for Linux platforms, extending to Unix platforms and Windows throughout the year. Notice that a single command, like the AD-flush command here, can be activated for multi-factor. And this is the experience of the user. Users typically enroll their phones, right, to the Centrify Identity Service. They're tied to their identity. That means also that if geolocation is enabled, the administrator can tie rules like if you're inside or outside the company, if you're inside the United States. So there's additional security controls that can be tied to it. But in this case, I'm going to just pretend to be my user Fred, and I'm going to have a manual session to the server CentOS 8. So Fred Thomas is going to attempt to log in. I'm going to put in my password, something I know, and then I'm going to pick one for the mobile authenticator here, and I'm going to queue the Centrify app. I'm going to press 1. Notice that I'm getting an approve or deny. I'm going to go ahead and approve it. And once I approve, I can always just press here. And what happened is I'll be able to log in. So this is requesting multi-factor upon accessing a Linux machine. Another use case that may be needed, for example, in the case of this user, let's do -do -L so we can see what the user can do. Notice that the user is allowed to run commands related to an Apache administrator. For example, if he needs to -do service httpd restart, he should be able to do this no problem because it's part of his job. But when I type the AD-flush command, notice that AD-flush can only be run by root. The way I've set up this is when he needs to run AD-flush, he's going to be prompted for multi-factor. Think about it. Maybe you want people to do multi-factor when they do, sudo or dzdo su dash, for example. And let's do a dzdo AD-flush. In here, I can have a different factor delivered to me. For example, I can pick an email, right? If I pick 2, and I can go to Fred Thomas's email. He happens to be an Office 365 user, right? So my expectation here is, notice that I got an email, and I can click on here. This is going to submit the approval through RESTful APIs. So now it's been successful. I can go back to my session here and press enter. So, and notice that the AD-flush command ran successfully. So this is how Centrify can implement in a cost-effective, efficient way multi-factor authentication using Active Directory roles and rights via Centrify zones and using the assets of Centrify Identity Service. Also, Centrify is working to make sure that those would have multi-factor solutions that not necessarily quite work the right way, that we have white papers ready to go also to have that done. And I hope you enjoyed this video.